You ever seen a picture of George Michael?
Me?
I mean, yeah, look, that's you. Roll the first one of me. This is me, Ozzy.
Oh, no wonder you started doing smack. You're in the Madhouse now.
Here we are, the Madhouse Chronicles again. I'm Billy Morrison.
And I'm still Ozzy Osbourne.
How are you? You good?
I'm doing all right today.
You look good today. More of the same. We're here talking about whatever we want. I thought a good subject would be like fashion.
Over the years.
So for me, the first thing that I saw was David Bowie.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he did this album cover, and it was Man Who Sold the World, and the album cover actually got banned. It was Bowie, but he was wearing a dress, a makeup, and, you know, as a kid, I was like, fuck.
But isn't that strange? I remember when they started having that Mohican.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, that takes balls to walk around. But now you go, oh, it's
That's it. Now, that's a good point, because if you think about what we've seen in fashion and hair and makeup, and now we're the old guys, I walk around looking at what kids do now, and I'm my dad. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
The thing is that everybody wears these really tight pants.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
Like these.
who was the first guy to wear them like that? And I wonder how it took off.
I think it was, I mean, if you think about spandex in the glam rock era, like all those guys like spandex. Can you remember, I mean, obviously the Beatles had a look. They had the black suit.
I had a Beatles suit. Beatles
you
boots.
did? So that was no collar, right?
No collars, but then I thought I was fucking king of the world. I mean, rock and roll and fashion went together, you know.
It always has.
There was a show in the 60s called Ready, Steady, Go.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a shop with a woman named Kathy McGowan.
Kathy McGowan.
What was that shop called in?
Granny Takes a Trip.
That's it.
And it was part of the King's Road scene. This is really good because I'm going to show you a video in a minute. But Granny Takes a Trip was one of the first specifically fashion-oriented. And it was all that hippie stuff.
I remember going down King's Road. It's like going into the fucking Star Wars bar.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, as time goes on, you go, oh, yeah, yes. But you get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, when we used to wear the platform boots, I had fucking boots.
How high? Go on.
Fucking ridiculous, isn't it? A doctor once said, he says, what the fuck, what are they all about? I said, a boot. She goes, you may think you look good, but when you're older, you'll pay for that.
And he was right.
He was fucking...
Was it a thing with platforms where the higher, the better?
Not really, but it's just a feel about... I got down to Kensington Market and I loved it because I could do it.
Market was brilliant. Oh my God. I loved it.
I spent hours in
because you'd go down the stairs, remember that?
Yeah.
Down the stairs, and it was just everything you could
buy fucking gear there as well.
Ozzy, do you remember a guy called Derek Nimmo on?
Yeah.
He was like a posh chat show host early evening in the 70s where everyone was like up their own asses. When punk came out, they sent him on a reporting trip to the shop. The shop was called
Not
Sex.
That guy where Steve Jones going,
yes.
You're a dirty bastard.
No, that was similar. That was Bill Grundy. So can we roll this clip a second? Watch this, Ozzy. So that's Vivienne Westwood back when she was alive and running the shop. Now, Ozzy, the shop was called Sex. And it had rubber letters outside.
Didn't we go to that shop when we went?
We went to what it's now, which is World's End. But yeah, me and you went down there. It's where the Sex Pistols were formed, and all the clothes that the Pistols wore came from Vivienne Westwood.
Well, what's actually wrong with what I'm wearing?
Mate, you look so bloody boring. I cannot believe it.
I agree with you.
It's a question of how you feel. The point is to change yourself. And if
But why? Why does one have to change?
Because then you'll feel...
So hang on, pause it right there. So Vivienne says the point is to change how you feel with clothes. And he says, why do I have to change? It's an interesting point. But for me, see all these clothes, the tart and stuff, I used to wear all this stuff and it did make me feel different.
Yeah, because you're in the in crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It's like winkle pickers, platform boots, frost hair. I mean, I look at some of the things that I used to wear and I go, what the fuck was I
but
thinking?
why did you wear them? Exactly what you said.
Because it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So watch the end of this clip with Derek Nimmo getting dressed up. It gets really funny when Derek leaves the shop.
I know that. It was... really?
Obviously, it's taking the piss out of punk, but I thought that was brilliant. And that's all my fashion. I used to wear that all the
Yeah,
time.
but it's like what we wear now. I'm 75 this year. Fashion now is whatever fucking comfortable.
So there's a point you're saying. There's a point where fuck fashion. I want to be comfortable.
No, I mean, you know,
You're very fashionable, but comfort.
But saying that, you know, I'm married to a woman that would fucking.
One thing I know about your wife, she said, which I disagree with. She says, after a certain age, you shouldn't wear leather.
Oh yeah, it's not age appropriate.
It's not age appropriate.
Oh fucking hell, I'm going to leather pants. She goes, no, it's not age
See,
appropriate.
my stage wear now is pretty much all leather.
Oh, it's stage wear. Stage wear is different, but to walk down the fucking street at the age of 75 in leather.
No, I wouldn't go down pavilions in a pair of leather stripes.
I mean, theatricals on stage. I mean, Alex Cooper, he looks like a fucking lunatic when he's up, you know, on the stage.
But he looks brilliant.
But he's a lovely guy.
He doesn't play golf in the makeup. I know that.
But he's a good man.
Are you glad? I was thinking about Alice Cooper, Kiss.
But Alice was the first one to start wearing that.
100%. And he got a lot of it from the New York Dolls. The New York Dolls used to do the girl, lookalike girl thing. But I was talking to the lead singer of Slipknot. You know Slipknot, the band that wear masks? And he made me laugh because he said, I wish I'd have known when I invented the band that it was going to go on for 30 odd years, because now he has to wear a mask. And Kiss has to wear the makeup. If you don't wear a schoolboy uniform. Aren't you glad you didn't invent Ozzy Osbourne with a face full of makeup?
Yeah, but I had the tassel shirt for years.
Tell me about that. What was that about?
I was on one of our earlier tours. I was in San Francisco. And I used to go on stage with just regular shirts. And I thought, fuck, that'd be cool. And there was this shirt with tassels on it. I bought it. And I wore that for about 15 fucking tours.
That look stayed with you for a long while. So my parents, they gave up after a while, but that shop I showed you, I bought what was called a muslin, and it was like a straitjacket, and it had Anarchy in the UK. And when I brought it home, they threw it out, right?
Who did?
My parents. I came home wearing it, and they went, not in my house, and threw it out. I pinpoint that as the point in my life where I went, well, fuck you.
Yeah, but
have you ever done that with your kids? Have you ever had anything to say about what they look like?
No, it's like I've gone, you know, you might think that's cool.
Right.
But someone out there could very well be offended by it. You might get a smack in the eye. You're prepared to go there.
Right. But you've let them find their own journey.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
But we're not a normal family, you know. It's like, I mean...
Well, in many respects you are. I mean, your husband and
No,
wife, you brought up a bunch of kids.
I mean, how many fucking kids do you know who spend summer on the road with their dad in an Ozfest?
None.
And, you know, and like with drugs, I'm going, it's going to be out there, so be careful.
Yeah.
But it's inevitable these days.
I think with hindsight, that's a really good way to parent. Regarding, look, hair and fashion, girls...
But the thing about being in our game is, if your kid comes home a bit loaded, you know exactly what the fucking...
100%. And if your kid comes home and they've cut all their hair off and it's red or blue...
Oh, Kelly.
It's like, oh, I know, Kelly with purple hair.
She had more colours of the rainbow.
Can we bring up the picture of young Ozzy first? I just want to show you this. Look how handsome you are.
I borrowed somebody's coat. The roadie's Afghan coat.
But I mean, look, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of me in a minute. But as far as old pictures of you go, that's pretty cool, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So roll the first one of me. This is me, Ozzy.
Fuck, you know. No wonder you started using smack.
Oh, I was out of my head. So that's the Marquee Club in Wardour Street. Show him the other outfit. Look at this outfit.
You look like a right cunt.
So where that was, I've gone into the 80s and it was all pirate, Adam and the Ants and all that stuff.
Oh, aye.
So that's me as a pirate.
Fuck you, no.
Yeah, can we get that off the screen, please? Thank you. Clearly, I had no problem wearing makeup or weird clothing. What do you think that's about?
It's rebellion. It's to be in the in crowd. You got to have something what all your mates are doing,
And rebellion against your parents and society.
The system.
Why do we want to rebel?
Because we're growing up. It's a part of growing up, I suppose.
You know what it is? Part of the kids growing up is, you know, when kids
The thing about what we do for a living.
when I was
a kid, if my dad said to me, I'm going to see this guy fucking Al Jolson or whatever, just for the fact that he liked it, I go, what the fuck?
Exactly. So there's a point where kids grow up and they're like, parents know nothing.
Of course, you know, it's like,
and it's whatever.
And we Jack's mate, and he's going, I've tried to get in on the crack without it, and I'm all giggling and laughing.
You're just the dad who's just not funny. For me, anything that I wore that made my parents pissed off, it's terrible to admit, but if it made my parents pissed off, I would wear it. So like the anarchy in the UK ripped up.
But it's a story of everything, isn't it?
It is. No, absolutely.
In the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, now to...
So what with the 60s? What was going on in the 60s fashion? It was like bell-bottoms.
No, it was Beetle suits for me.
And also tie-dye, multicolour, long hair.
I mean, I went to that phase.
What about the long hair? I mean, that was a picture of you as a teenager. Long hair at the time was viewed as girly, right?
No, it was...
hippie.
It was kind of hippie, on peace and all this.
Right. But definitely the middle class, bankers.
You could tell what Ringo still does the peace sign.
He still does the peace sign. Yes, he does. Let's talk about the 80s.
Now you're fucking so...
Yeah. I'll tell you what, before we even
I should have invested on fucking hairspray.
I am about to take the piss right now. Let's run this little video of Ozzy's looks in the 80s. So hold on, before you even run it, you ever seen a picture of George Michael?
Me?
I mean, yeah, look, that's you with the Go on, run the video. It's brilliant.
That was my silver fox coat.
That is a look, Ozzy. Go on, keep going.
I had a funeral for that.
That's a cool look.
Me and Zach.
Yeah. Go on, what else we got in there?
Me, Tommy Lee from Motley and Amy.
What was the, how do you go
Do you know what got me
into
dressed
that?
There was a shop in London. What's the name of that fucking street? Off Wardour Street, I think.
Not South Moulton Street.
South Moulton Street.
South Moulton Street with all the suits and the top.
Yeah,
the
and
top
I went there.
shit.
There was this guy, and he always had a bag of waffle powder.
Let's explain that. Drugs,
So I'd go
cocaine.
to a toot and get by
So you're buying this shit, but
no,
you get-
but Sharon, I hadn't got a clue what to fucking buy.
I was about to ask because look, that is obviously a really well put together look. That's not you.
No, it's
That's
my,
Sharon.
my wife goes,
Yeah.
don't fucking wear that. You look like a c-.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's a typical 80s look. You got the shoulders, you got the braces, and how, I don't know whether the viewer notices, look at the cigarette.
No,
It's so bizarre looking at you with a cigarette in your hand.
I haven't smoked for fucking ever.
Well, I haven't smoked in about 20 minutes, so I'm right there with you. But what about all the other things like werewolves and...
No, well, it came with the territory. I was like the evil one.
Yeah. How did the werewolf... You had Bark at the Moon, obviously,
Back at
right?
the moon. It took 8 hours to put that makeup on. Fuck, I ripped it off.
So when someone comes to you and says, so you got this song, Bark at the Moon, we think you should dress up like a werewolf, is your reaction, get the fuck out of here, or is it like...
No, I think
okay.
it's great. I mean, I was on my solo thing, and Sharon never steered me wrong. Sharon...
Well, I was going to get there.
Sharon is what you see out of Ozzy Osbourne is not so much Ozzy Osbourne as I'd walk around your knees all fucking day.
Shit, I was going to say, clearly, because now we have time to look back on it, clearly she's not wrong, because Bark at the Moon, one of the massive
I'd come up
songs.
with the titles and
And she'd put the imagery together.
one of the guys in my band just say, eat shit and Bark at the Moon. I said, Bark at the Moon's a great title for an album. And we wrote the song.
And you weren't wrong. There is an incident, I've heard the story, but I'd love you to tell it again. So this is how you looked. And then
One
of you looks. And then you shaved your head.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I was touring and I thought, how the fuck can I stop this booking me out? I'd get home 2 days, I'd be out again.
Right.
So I fucked off and I knocked a barber up in Birmingham, I think in Birmingham. And I knocked the door and he says, we ain't open yet. I says, I want to shave my head. He said, what? I said, I want to shave my head. Okay.
So this is not Sharon now. This is you going, I don't want to keep going out on the road.
So
This will stop him.
I thought, yeah.
This will stop him, right?
It didn't stop him.
What? So
I flew to fucking New Orleans.
when did she see it for the first time?
She, at my sister's house, Jean's.
And you walked in.
She went, oh. Didn't say a word in front of my sister.
But
When
what
I
was
when
her
I got up,
solution?
she said, you stupid. So, we go to New Orleans. She buys this fucking Lady Godiva wig out of this fucking joke shop with more dead flies in it. Must be there since 1927. I'm putting that fucking wig on. I bought some blood caps. So I went on stage and I smacked him and I go, argh.
Oh, and you pull. I've never heard that. That explains the photograph of you with the shaved head with blood.
Yeah, so anyway,
I get it.
I'm looking in the mirror, putting this wig on straight. And it was a shit wig in it as well. You know. And I said, if any of you fuckers laugh, I'm going home. So I'm looking in the mirror, I'm looking at them behind me in the mirror, and they're all holding their crutches, cracking up.
So you never did that again?
Oh, fuck. I did it actually twice. But your hair grows back.
Yeah,
so
I was
out.
just going to say, shaving your head is good. What about really when fashion goes? Have you ever been to the Met Gala when it goes over the top?
What?
There's this thing in New York. It's called the Met
Oh,
Gala.
I've never been to any of that.
I'll show you a thing in a second. It's become this fashion thing. It's a gala. It's like high society gala. But the idea, where it's turned into is outrageous fashion, like really weird
Yeah, but I've
shit.
seen that on TV. You see these like fucking things. I go, how the fuck would one to wear that?
What? Well, let's run the video. Look, first of all, they've got horses' heads sticking out of their chests.
Yeah, but I mean,
Look at this. Looks like it's going to rob a bank.
you're sitting in a nightclub. You go, fuck me, standing in the
Go on,
light.
keep going.
This is fucking insane.
Yeah.
But what's the point of it?
Well, that's what I was going to get there. And now stop on that guy. How do you fancy that for an outfit?
It's like something Tommy Cooper would wear.
Look, I mean, one side of it is I guess if you asked that guy, he would be saying, I'm trying to make a statement.
Yeah, but what's the purpose of it?
Absolutely. What is the purpose of it? And to me...
We sound like a couple of old now.
I know. We're going to get so much backlash for this.
Yeah, but it's like confusing.
I agree. That's a great word. That right there is very confusing. That guy...
I don't know. It's
Very
like a fucking
confusing.
joke. It's like some comedian going, went
That's-
to the shop the other day. And she was there.
That. All right. So the producers of
It's
this
like
show...
something a comedian would wear. Doing like a,
He might be
I'm going to come
comedian.
home from school and do, no, not tonight.
doing that, looking at it. So they've suggested a quick rapid fire thing. So I've got like 10 or so things, and I'm just going to give you two alternatives, and you just tell me what you would choose out of the two, right? Best fashion era, 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
I'd have to say the 80s.
Metal hair, rock hair, or punk hair?
Metal hair.
Bell bottoms or shoulder pads?
Shoulder pads.
All right. Prince or David Bowie?
David Bowie.
I agree with you on that. Denim or leather?
Leather.
I agree with you on that. Boots or sneakers?
Boots.
We disagree. Sneakers, obviously. And then the last one, we're both the same on this. Big fuck off statement bling necklace or massive sunglasses?
Fucking bling.
So I've got to tell him it's our favourite story. Years ago, I was talking to Ozzy about I wanted to buy him a birthday gift. And he looked at me and he went, listen, let me tell you something. If it ain't bling, I don't want it. And you're absolutely right. I'm now exactly the same. Mind you, we both own some good bling. What have you learnt over the years about how fashion and hair and makeup and your look, how important is that to you?
I mean, if you could tell somebody's age really by what music they like,
Right.
what they like to wear. But the thing I was saying earlier on in the conversation, when I see these tight pants, and everybody wearing, I mean, mothers, everyone.
Yeah.
I thought one day, how does it start? Who was the first one?
There's always the first person to wear something.
There must be someone you go, oh, fucking hell, I've got to get a pair of them.
Yeah.
There's somebody makes a few pairs, he goes like that. But I wonder who started the platform boots. I wonder who started doing the hair collars.
I mean, I would say Mark Bolan and Gary Glitter, but it's not because it goes back. The New York Dolls.
Do you remember
did the
talking about
platforms.
Mark Bolan? He was a big fashion star. There was a guy on
Huge.
kids TV, and he used to have his hair just like Mark Bolan.
Yeah. Billy Idol is a massive Mark Bolan fan. He actually did. Mark Bolan had Billy's punk band Generation X on the show. Look, Ozzy, it's been great talking about this. I will say this. And I'm not blowing smoke. You had a period a couple of years ago, which you still kind of do, where you went for the 3/4 length.
Yeah.
And you had a bunch of those made. It's an amazing fashion statement for someone as in your years. Because it's classic.
Sharon is, I believe it's me. It ain't me.
Right.
I wouldn't know a fucking...
Right.
I buy things that I like, not for the stuff.
Madhouse Chronicles on Fashion. We'll be back next time.
Bye.
So that's it for this week's episode of the Madhouse Chronicles. Subscribe at osbornemediahouse.com for early access, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, limited edition merch, and much, much more, including the re-release of the iconic Osbourne's TV show. Don't miss out. Visit Osbourne Media House. We'll see you at the Madhouse.
There is no escape from the Madhouse.
Discover more shows and exclusive series at osbornemediahouse.com.